Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're talking all about sales pages and how to use it as a blueprint for your online marketing strategy. You're listening to the Optimized Online Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Barnes. I'm a customer journey marketing strategist and I help you maximize sales by optimizing the customer experience. Well, I would love to take credit for your sales page as a blueprint. The original idea came from James Wedmore, and so I just wanted to make sure that I credited him at the beginning of this podcast. So there are 5 key areas where your sales page can serve as a blueprint for both your business and your marketing strategy. The 5 key areas that we're going to be focusing on today is how to develop your ICA with your sales page, how to build out your product or program, how to develop a lead magnet, how to create your content, and how to create your launch assets. If you haven't already, I've created a tool called the Sales Page Optimization Toolkit. And if you want, you can download that at optimizedsalespage.com. Again, optimizedsalespage.com. And one of the first exercises that we do in that toolkit is to define your ideal client avatar. So before we even start optimizing your sales page, we want to make sure that we have that clarity around your ideal client avatar. The first couple sections of your sales page talk about your ideal client's struggles and their desires. So in one of the first sections, we talk about their pain points, their challenges, and what they're struggling with. In this section, we want to make sure that we're very specific about the pain points that we're addressing and the desires that go along with it. When I say specific pain points and challenges, I'm talking about the very clear, specific pain points that your product or program addresses. As humans, we have a variety of challenges and pain points at any given time. So a lot of us may have financial struggles, we may have health issues, family problems, relationship problems, etc. But we're not here to solve all of the problems of everyone all at the same time. We are choosing a specific challenge that your product or program solves. So one problem that will help illustrate this whole idea is the idea of a bug bite. I know, sounds super fun and exciting, but imagine the last time you got a bug bite. Recently, I had a bug bite and it was one of the most annoying itches ever. It was huge and I felt like I couldn't walk because of where it was on my foot. Now, imagine someone walking up to you and selling you the dream life of a giant yacht with $1 million and all the food you could eat on this beautiful yacht. That doesn't help solve my bug bite situation. If I was on a yacht that had absolutely no itch cream on it and we were hours away till the nearest port where I could actually get some relief, then that idea of the yacht is one of the last things on my mind. The reason that I share this illustration is because we tend to exaggerate what the dream looks like for our ideal client. It may be, yes, they want to be fit and maybe they want $1 million, but it's not necessarily solving their issue right now. And if you can paint a more realistic picture of what their new dream could look like in a more reasonable way, then your ideal client is going to connect with that even more. Going back to the bug bite example, I can imagine a salesman kind of coming up to me and saying, "Hey, I can solve all your problems right now. You can be a millionaire and I'm going to make you rich and successful. But that doesn't solve my problem of my bug bite right now." If somebody else came up to me and said, "Hey, I got this $5 bottle of itch cream that you can have," great. I'm going to take that $5 bottle of itch cream because that solves my immediate problem right then and there. And it immediately talks to my specific pain point. Okay, let's look at a more realistic real world example. There's a Facebook ads training that actually has clients getting 6 figures from their $65 a month program. And I'm talking about the Not Your Average membership with Zach Spuckler, but he talks about how he has actual real testimonials from people generating 6 figures from his program, but he doesn't highlight that in his sales page because it's such a disconnect with his current clients or where people are at that moment. Instead, he highlights how Not Your Average membership can help you see Facebook results today, how you can start generating leads today, how you can grow your email list. And that speaks a lot more to people where they're at right now. Of course, they want to make 6 figures. Of course, they want to be successful with Facebook ads, but really what they want to do in this moment is start building their email list and start generating leads. They're also in a place where they're more interested in making their first sale with Facebook ads rather than a whole giant launch with Facebook ads. So while you can absolutely use some of the strategies inside of the membership to create a 6-figure launch, the languaging around the sales page speaks more to the person who is interested in Facebook ads to get that first win, to start seeing those results. And it's I don't want to say beginner, but it speaks to people who haven't quite hit that six-figure mark yet, but is on their way there. For example, there's a testimonial that talks about somebody who made $3,000 off a $49 product, and that's a lot more not believable, but it's a lot more relatable to someone who's just starting out in business, as opposed to, hey, I made six figures in the last 6 weeks. There's a certain disconnect there when people reach goals that seem a little too far off, whereas the $3,000 testimonial is a lot more relatable. Now, that's not to say that you can't have those testimonials on there, but just be aware of what your ideal client is looking for. If your ideal client is in that beginner's phase, they are going to want to see wins that they themselves can see. If you're offering dream solutions where it seems a little far off, like somebody who's just starting out and hasn't even had their first sale yet, and you're promising six-figure launches, well, there's going to be that disconnect. So just make sure that when you're developing your ideal client avatar, that you know exactly what kind of wins that they're looking for. So the next thing that our sales page is going to help us do is to develop our product or program. Now, if you haven't created your product or program and you're working on your sales page, it's totally fine. In fact, it's even better if you haven't created it yet, because this way you can create the languaging around your program in a way that benefits your ideal client avatar. Even if you've already created your program, you can still modify it in a way that will benefit your ideal client. So think about how your ideal client consumes content. If they're a busy mom, then maybe a 6-module course with 100 lessons isn't the best way to go. A busy mom is more likely going to want to invest something that has fewer modules, shorter lessons, and something that they can consume easily on the go. On the other hand, if you're teaching a more technical topic that has a lot of details in it, then you're going to want to create videos that really explain what you're talking about so that the person watching can truly understand the terms and technicalities of what you're trying to teach. When selling your program on your sales page, then you can really speak about how the format is beneficial to them. So for example, for the busy mom that's on the go, you can talk about how there's only a few lessons, you can consume it in a short amount of time, and there's even closed captions on it in case you need to watch it while the baby's sleeping. That's very specific language that you can use, and if you haven't recorded it yet, you can go back and add those captions to the videos. All right, so let's talk about your lead magnet. Your lead magnet is a small sample of your main program. Ideally, it's going to get your ideal client a quick win. It attracts them to your email list where they can subscribe, and you can nurture them up until the time they decide to purchase. Going back to the sales page, at the beginning of the sales page, we talk about the different pain points that your client is experiencing, and your program is going to be the one to solve the majority of those pain points. However, your lead magnet should get your client a quick win. So for example, if you have something like a home organization course, then maybe a lead magnet could be something like how to organize your junk drawer in 5 minutes. And getting them this quick win is quick, easy, and tangible, and it's just a taste of what's going to come in the future. The added benefit of the lead magnet is they're on your email list. And when they're on your email list, that gives you a chance to nurture them by sending weekly emails about different content you're creating. And that leads us to our next section, content. Content can serve several purposes. One of them is answering the different objections that your ideal client may have to committing to your product or program. Going back to the home organization example, so people may believe that it takes forever to organize a home. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of digging up, and what you could do with your content is address those concerns. Maybe it is a lot of work, but you can show them how to organize their home in a way that doesn't feel like it's a lot of work. You could probably show them how to do small sections at a time. For example, like cleaning the junk drawer in 5 minutes, or maybe how they can tidy a room in 10 minutes. Now, you may be wondering how to create content where it doesn't compete with your program. So for example, you could be creating all of this amazing content, but then it may feel like it gives your ideal client no reason to purchase. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk about not eating sugar. That is a tip that has served people well when it comes to losing weight. However, it's not easy to not eat sugar. So what your program is going to do is dive in a little bit deeper into that issue of why it's so hard to cut out sugar. And then it's going to offer a level of support that your podcast or content can't offer. Now, if it's a self-study course or a low ticket offer that doesn't have the live element of support, you can still package up your content in a way that's neat and organized and offer new things like worksheets and bonuses that will help them achieve their goal faster. Now, when we look at a traditional sales funnel, at the top of the funnel, the content is a lot more broad. At the bottom of the funnel is our offering, where it's our product or program. When you're creating content, you can go a little bit more broad. While our goal at the end of the day is to bring people to our product or program, it's not a problem to introduce people into your podcast or YouTube content in a way that still serves your audience. So for example, let's take a look at the home organization example. Let's say you bring in a stylist to help curate a wardrobe. You don't necessarily teach the styling, but you can bring in an expert that talks about how styling and choosing specific pieces can help you have a clean and minimal wardrobe. The other flip side to this is that you can be on their show and their podcast talking about home organization, where you can both benefit each other. And so collaborating with other people in different industries is a great way to grow your audience and not necessarily cannibalize your content that's in your own course. All right, and finally, we're going to be talking about launch emails and launch assets and how your sales page can help you create those. In your sales page, a lot of what you're going to be talking about is objections to purchasing your product or program. Each objection can be its own email. So for example, you can say something like, oh, this is too expensive. Well, you can talk about how not investing could be more of a problem than spending a little bit of money now to save you pain later. Another objection could be that something takes too long to do. Something that you could do within those emails is talk about how you only need a little bit of time in order to see results in the program. So talk about how spending only 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day working on the program is going to help them move forward and closer to their goals. Also in your emails, you can talk about how ignoring the challenges that they're facing is only going to cause them more problems later down the road. So for example, in a weight loss program, ignoring good weight loss tips or strategies is really not going to benefit them later. In fact, it's going to snowball into an even bigger issue. I don't want you to guilt them into buying your product or program, but what I want you to do is encourage them to take action, whether that's joining your program or doing something on their own. Either way, you're encouraging them to take action. Making people feel bad about not purchasing your program is not the best way to go. Instead, you really want to encourage them to take action and believe in themselves. That gives a lot more intrinsic motivation to do something about their issue, and your program just happens to be part of the solution. All right, friends, that's it for today, but that's not the end of this story. I'm actually hosting a challenge at the end of this month called the Optimized Sales Page Challenge. Now, if you downloaded the Sales Page Optimization Toolkit, then you're already signed up to join this challenge. But if you haven't yet, you can join me at optimizedsalespage.com and we'll go through this challenge together of building and creating our sales page. This challenge is going to be perfect for you. The whole goal of the sales page is to create that blueprint for our marketing strategy, and that's ultimately the goal of the sales page. While yes, we do want to create a sales page that sells, we also want to make sure that the product or program that we're offering is the most beneficial for our ideal client. Ultimately, we want to create a marketing strategy where they don't even need to read the sales page in order to make that decision. Your content that you create, the lead magnet that helps get them that win, all of that should lead them one step closer to making a buying decision. For example, I've joined programs where I hardly even read a single word of the sales page. I just clicked on the sales page just so I could get to the buy link. The reason for that is because they've already sold me in previous emails and previous content. They've already generated so much trust that I don't even need to read the sales page. Now, that's not to say that the sales page doesn't serve a purpose. It absolutely does. The sales page helps summarize exactly what's in your program and helps people get off the fence. It helps clarify exactly who is right for your program and who isn't. So the goal of the sales page is to help generate that sale, but it's not the only thing that's going to help create the sale. You're going to need the other pieces, such as your lead magnet and your regular content, in order to help someone come to that buying decision. The sales page, ultimately, in the end, is to get them off the fence. Now, it's entirely possible to get cold leads to come to your sales page and decide to make a purchase, but just keep in mind that it's more likely that a warm lead is the one that's going to make a purchase. The likelihood of cold traffic making a purchase not knowing anything about who you are, it's possible, but you want to optimize for the people who do know who you are, because those are the ones that are more likely to buy. We're experiencing a shift in marketing where you can no longer run ads to a webinar and expect a really high conversion at the end of that webinar. People don't trust online marketers in the way that they once did. It now takes a lot longer to nurture a relationship and finally get to the sale. The good news is that all you need is your sales page to help create that marketing strategy. Your sales page is going to help you create all of the assets that you're going to need to promote your product or program. It's going to help you create your lead magnet, your social media content, your regular content, all of that to help nurture your ideal client. All of that content is just going to make it that much easier for them to buy into your program. Again, if you want to join us for the challenge, just go to optimizedsalespage.com, And if you happen to be listening to this after April, you can still get that sales page optimization toolkit at that same link. All right, that's it for me, friends. I'll see you all next week. Take care.